Shalom. I want to talk to you about a letter. I'd like to read a letter that was sent to me, and I believe you Hebrews need to hear it. But before I read this letter, I want you to understand something. You cannot teach the Word of God unless you study the Word. All of you Hebrews, newly found Hebrews, who are on YouTube, Google, and other places, giving information about what you know about the true children of God. The problem is that you are new. You probably never studied the Bible before. And all of a sudden now this very interesting topic that boosts our ego and make us feel good about ourselves, but we fight among each other horribly. Whenever we put something up on Facebook, instead of commenting on that statement or adding to it, we put up our own ideas. We are not uniting. We're not being part of each other's lives. We are still against each other. We're still using profanity. That is not a God way. That's not godly. I want you Hebrews to wake up for real, because God's children would never use profanity. God's true children who want to be as he wants us to be, who want to live by the covenant that he set forth for us, want us to obey him, not get big heads and think that we are all that because we're Hebrews. Let me tell you something. You're not doing the will of God. You're not. You're not cooperating with each other. You're not loving each other. You're still fighting against each other. If anyone go against your belief, you degrade them because they don't believe the same. That should not be. You should accept each other, learn from each other. If one is wrong and you direct them to righteousness and they don't accept it, just leave them alone. And eventually they'll get tired of hearing their own voice and decide to listen to someone else. But this is a letter now that was sent to me that I feel it's a duty as a pastor to read this letter, not just for Hebrew Israelites, but for all races of people. I want them to hear what this man wrote to me. People, do not trust white people. Every single one of us is racist. It's something we were born and raised into. We were and are consistently indoctrinated into white supremacy. Indifference and apathy towards systematic racism and its horrific results is not just more comfortable, it is insensitized. We are actively rewarded by white supremacy in its many forms for ignoring people of color and their cries for injustice. Our bones are riddled with it. It's everywhere. We were taught the history of our nation through textbooks written by white men with a vested interest in how the story was and is being told. So we think that Martin Luther King Jr. is the patron saint of polite black folks to be invoked against and angry ones. Peanut butter is the extent of black excellency. And according to the newest textbooks, slaves were just unpaid interns. We were brought up being given medicine designed for us by white men. Did you know the medicine wasn't designed for us? That's why so many of us are sick. The medicine doesn't work for us. Our body is different. Our, our system is different. Our genealogy is different. We require a medicine that's mainly for us. Our bodies are stronger than the white bodies. Our organs are stronger. I will continue. Men who historically tortured black women. I'm going to read this again. We were brought up being given medicine designed for us by white men. Men who historically tortured black women and murdered black babies to find genealogy. Men who performed surgeries on black people without any anesthesia and no precautions because it was believed that black people could not feel pain. And you wonder why we do not sympathize with black children when black children are gunned down by police officers. Nothing stopped. The framework of systematic racism just keeps getting dressed differently. Yesterday's fire hose and attack dogs are today's cultural appropriation, tone policy, and respectability politics. We are the ones who committed genocide, stole this land, and now, generations later, think it's cool to dress up like the folks we massacred. We're the ones making fun of people who can't speak perfect English. We're the ones. We're the ones who've come up with every single racial slur used in this country. We're so much more concerned about you questioning us, telling us no, or calling us out when we are what you're actually, when we are what you're actually experiencing at our hands. We will spend countless hours just poking at you, strolling you, just to prove you're this less intelligent or intellectual, overly emotional animal, to get you to fail a standard we set for you without ever cluing you in on it. We are the ones who built this country on the blood, the bodies, and the backs of people of color, and then built Mount Rushmore, statues, monuments to white men. We rigged the economy, the government, and the schools, created the ghettos set up for failure, and then we blame you for you're not pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. We are still making you defend yourselves over and over. We make you defend your personhood, your anatomy, your agency, your decency, your humanity, because when you keep minorities on the defensive, when you keep them explaining who they are and justifying their right to life, nothing real ever gets done. Even though I'm a queer, even though I'm trans, I still get to sit in the whites only section. And I have heard what gets said. And I'm begging you, please don't trust the white man. Now, this was written to me from a white man, as he probably felt that I would read it publicly, that many will hear. We know these things. We're not dumb as we may appear to be. We understand a lot more than we say. We're just figuring a way out. And you know what? Our time is now. Our father, Ahiah, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, says that he will bring us out in flying colors with joy and happiness. He says when the Gentiles' time come, then the wrath will be brought upon them. Our 400 years will be up in August the 20th, 2019. 400 years of slavery. And you might say, you're not enslaved. Slave was over, been over. No, 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 no. Slavery for us have never been over. You might not be able to see it. You might not even understand us. You may laugh and criticize us as losers. But you know what? We are the people that will be leading this world. We are the people that God has chosen, and he's not given up on us. So Hebrew people, wake up and be kind to one another. Stop criticizing and using profanity on Facebook against each other in other places. Learn to love. We were taught to hate ourselves and to hate each other, and it took hundreds of years to be taught that. So it'll take a while before we learn to love one another, and I hope it won't be hundreds of years. Learn to love each other. We are special. We're not who we thought we were. And I want to say shalom and stay tuned for my next video.